a game of using my brain. I got a PhD written after my name, but I'm worried and confused. I've got the I don't know it and I'd rather die than show it loose. Earning degrees was really a breeze, but when I try to think I get all weak in the knees. I feel helpless and abused. I've got the I don't know it and I'd rather die than show it loose. So tell me a fact, it must be exact. Hypotheses and theories won't fit in my act. I won't argue, hell no, I might lose. I got the I don't know it and I'd rather die than show it loose. Alone with a dusty old bone, that's when I feel really at home. I feel brilliant, thinking strong, 'cause when I'm all by myself, ain't no one gonna prove me wrong. Ideas come and go, they live and they grow, but if they ain't mine, I don't wanna know. Give me dogma, that's all I use. I got the I don't know and I'd rather die than show it loose. The papers I write, they show I'm not bright. My logic is loose where it ought to be tight, but that's alright. Yeah, that's okay. 'Cause the words are so impressive that they really take your breath away. Come, as long as they're dumb, I'll keep them under my mantle thumb. But if a bright one comes, I vamoose. I've got the I don't know it and I'd rather die than show it loose. So I'm warning you well, stay out of my shell. I'm insecure and paranoid and touchy as hell, and I'll tell you my excuse. I've got the I don't know it and I'd rather die than show it loose. One more time, it's no great surprise to those who have eyes. I'm mostly bluff and blustering and out lies, but admit it, I refuse. I got the I don't know it and I'd rather die than show it. Don't know it and I'd rather die than show it. Don't know it and I'd rather die than show it blue.
The truth is old and plainly told. It's there for all to heed. No need to doubt or puzzle it out. Believe in what you read.
The evidence makes lots of sense if you exercise your mind. Explore the range of time and change. Believe in what you find.
God created the heavens and the earth and the oceans and the air. Then he planted scrubby shrubbery in the forest cool and fair. Then came the bugs and the butterflies and the birds and bees and such. Then when the people came, it was a little bit too much. So on the seventh day God rested. You ask me how I know. It's written down in black and white. The Bible tells me so.
Ha! Oh, the earth revolves, but life evolves, so therefore by default it's nature's mishap, this homo sap. Thank God, we're not God's fault. As Darwin said with a level head, we have the simian shape. So folks, I fear that undoubtedly we're related to the ape. Now in like measure, it's my pleasure to help you to perceive how the genes that arose from the protozoans created Adam and Eve.
Well, can't you read? The Lord decreed creation lasted 6 days.
But Barghorn talks about fossils in rocks. 2 billion years, he says.
Your rocks for sure are the devil's spore.
Your Bible's myths and lore.
In stone or tract where lies the fact. The Bible!
The fossil!
The Bible!
The fossil!
The Bible!
The fossil!
The Bible tells us more.
Darwin took a year or two exploring on the Beagle, observing habits of the finch, the tortoise, and the eagle. And after he had written down and published what he found, like Joshua at Jericho, hey, the walls came a-tumbling down. Oh my, people cried, ministers were mortified, scientists were much surprised, and poor old Charles was ostracized. But Darwin still insisted that his book was not a hoax, as he tried politely to ignore the ape and monkey jokes. He knew that offspring differ from their parents and their kin, but he never did quite fathom how varieties begin. Gather round, make no sound, Neo-Darwin's gonna expound. Hear the cheers, hear the jeers, see the creationists block their ears. There was a small coacervate, just as pretty as you please, that was lying on the bottom of the great primeval seas. It joined some more coacervates, and behold, they up and grew. And before you could say DNA, hey, they split themselves in two. Hey, 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 what do you say? Life began that fateful day. In that oceanic chasm, God created protoplasm. Mom Nature mixed the batter. It was rich but rather thin, so she dreamed up complex bodies made of cells to keep it in. She started with prokaryotes and she worked it up from there to plants and ants and vertebrates with culture, brains and hair. Yippee! What do you see? Creatures swarm on land and sea, different, strange, and simply grand. Creatures swarm on sea and land. You ask me why this stuff evolved. The answer, I presume, is genes, selection, mutants, and the need for elbow room. So many critters fill the world, alas, they must compete to see that they're not eaten while they get enough to eat. Count to 5, sakes alive, only the lucky and the fit survive, passing via egg and sperm, the plasm with the strongest germ. Scientists can mutate plants to form a brand new breed. We get 19 varieties from just one kind of seed. We can crossbreed and select, it's really nothing new. If nature changes by herself, what's left for God to do? Son of a gun, Darwin won, he really knew how change had begun. Tee-hee-hee, now I see how he monkeyed with our family tree. La la la, la la la, la 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 la, la 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 la. Looking at the outcrop 110 in the shade, trying to figure out how all those rocks got laid. I'm looking at the bedding, it's as plain as can be, and it's full of little fossils from the tertiary. Now and then you find a layer of basalt. Take your brunt and find the dip and strike sleep fault.
Do the rock, rock, baby, do the rock, rock, do the rock, rock, baby, do the rock, rock, do the rock, rock, baby, and you'll be
a red hot lava tonight. Mudstone, shale, and siltstone, well, they all look the same. Fine volcanics if you want to play the date-end game. I'll map out every overturn and anticline to see if maybe you should dig a well or a mine. All the metamorphics, they've been doing the twist. Geology is sometimes just a pile of shit.
Do the rock, rock, baby, do the rock, rock, do the rock, rock, baby, do the rock, rock, do the rock, rock, baby, and you'll be
a red hot lava tonight. If you run across a big volcanic cone, you're standing on a hotspot or subduction zone. All this whole earth is changing at a rapid rate. California will contribute when they pass the plate. Sometimes it's hard to realize that sooner or later to dust we shall return and then get made into straight.
Do the rock, rock, baby, do the rock, rock, do the rock, rock, baby, do the rock, rock, do the rock, rock, baby, and you'll be
a red hot lava tonight. Continents are dancing to a rockin' beat. Mountaintops are jumping, they can feel the heat. The quakes are cracking up the lithospheric crust, and all the rocks are shaking like they're fit to bust. Well, someday there'll be sediments and settle down and lie there getting stoned in the underground.
Do the rock, rock, baby, do the rock, rock, do the rock, rock, baby, do the rock, rock, do the rock, rock, baby, and you'll be
a red hot lava tonight. Nothing is science unless we have evidence. Things can't leave traces unless they are there. Without concrete data, we must express hesitance. Spurious beasties had better beware.
Where, better beware. Sometimes the truth can be terribly dull. Next time a sea monster clambers aboard with you, feed it a fish head and call it a gull.
Nothing is science unless it is testable. Experiments don't work when nothing is there. Opinion and hearsay are simply detestable. Psychokinetics had better beware.
Where, better beware. Things that aren't there are not there, and that's that. Next time a poltergeist tears up your living room, clean up the mess, blame it all on the cat.
Nothing is science until it is quantified. Just try to measure a thing that's not there. Numbers legitimize, render things bona fide. Hunches and feelings had better beware.
Where, better beware. You can be blinded by stars in your eyes. Next time you're seized by emotions most passionate, take out your ruler, determine their size.
Nothing is science unless it's disprovable. Can't disprove something when nothing is there. Knowledge is power and truth is immovable. Myth and religion had better beware.
Where, better beware. If it's not there, there's no grief it can bring. Next time you're struck by divine revelation, remember St. John and forget the whole thing.
Nothing is science unless it's repeatable. One isn't valid, there must be a pair. Strict repetition of facts is unbeatable. Little green aliens, better beware.
Where, better beware. Things don't exist if they're truly unique. Next time a spaceship alights on your patio, it's not real until it comes back twice a week.
Science lends credence, defines our reality, states its decrees with definitive air, claims to be fair and without partiality, and won't even glance at the things that aren't there.
Where, better beware. Science takes notes as the world trundles by, points factual fingers at blind faith and innocence, missing the mote in its own sterile eye. Where, better beware. Science takes notes as the world trundles by, points factual fingers at blind faith and innocence, missing the mote in its own sterile eye. You come up with a theory, a questionable theory, but you've got to prove the theory if you want to write a paper. Oh, no science. You gather up some data, you bias all the data and manipulate it shamelessly and throw it in the paper. Oh, still no science. Drivel, she calm down. Drivel, she calm down. You take a stack of numbers, a random stack of numbers, then you tidy up the numbers so they look good in the paper. Oh, science. You take a big statistic, an undefined statistic, then remove it from its context so it fits into your paper. Oh, still more science. Drivel, she calm down. Drivel, she calm down. So now you've got your theory all dressed up with statistics, so you organize the paper so it reasons in a circle. Oh, social science. You leap to some conclusions, they needn't fit your data, but you have to have conclusions if you're gonna end a paper. Oh, social science. Drivel, she calm down. Drivel, she calm down. Of course you need a buzzword, a nice impressive buzzword, so you settle on empirical and put it in your title. Oh hum, snow science. And now you have a paper with an unsupported theory in a big prestigious journal to enhance your reputation. Ruthless, truthless science. Drivel, she calm down. Drivel, she calm down. Drivel, she
La 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 la. La 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 la. Please sit down, we have some forms to which you must attend.
There's only 26 of them to do. Make 4 of them in triplicate, the rest in ballpoint pen. Then go and stand in line when you believe that you are through.
The lady at the window will bestow a sullen frown and inform you that you should be over there.
To get the paper,
Green.
Stamp twice.
and then you must go down 3 flights to get a ticket to reoccupy your chair.
And if you have a question, here's a list of folks to see. They're all extremely busy and not one of them is me.
So read the small print carefully, I must be on my way. Don't spindle, fold, or staple things, and please enjoy your stay. In the department of obfuscatory verbiage,
Intellectual stagnation.
The mutilation of efficiency
and the circumnavigation of work.
Our job is to confuse you and to tell you where to go
With a lack of courtesy and much delay.
We're trained to do things sloppy and we're paid to do them slow. And randomness of service is the order of the day.
So ma'am, I cannot help you. Go to window 32. For the form you got last week is obsolete. And besides, the proper signatures are not affixed thereto. And for that you have to travel to the nearest county seat.
But the man
you want to see is in Jamaica for a year, and no one does this sort of thing but him, so if you please, just wait right here for hours while I blithely disappear.
For your problems aren't a part of my responsibilities.
In the department of obfuscatory verbiage,
Intellectual stagnation.
The mutilation of efficiency
and the circumnavigation of
work. You say you came in yesterday. You should be in our files, but we seem to have no folder by that name.
So sharpen up your pencil, ma'am, and stand in line for miles to reapply for things we lost before you ever came.
And you haven't paid our service fee.
You haven't a receipt.
And you need a more respectable ID.
You have to have a witness.
And you must, of course, complete your autobiographic sketchbox 5, page 43.
Our computer doesn't know you and you've come a day too late, so leave your name and number as we're just about to close.
We'll give you an appointment for some inconvenient date
at the hour when we're busiest.
And that's the way it goes.
And goes.
And goes. In the department of obfuscatory verbiage, intellectual stagnation, the mutilation of efficiency, and the circumnavigation of work.
There is a little table periodically arranged, all covered up with elements and properties and names, diameters and valences, ionic charge and masses, with outer shells and inner shells, with subgroups, groups, and classes. But no matter how I struggle to manipulate and twist them, I must admit to my chagrin, their names won't make a system. Oh, the elements, their names just don't make any sense. Some are named for animals and others sundry beasts, like wolf, ram, oxygen, and even manganese. That's the plural of mongoose. Others are dead chemists like Laurentium and Samarium, whose doctors couldn't cure 'em, so thought it best to bury 'em. Those doctors ought to helium and not so much perturbium by standing rather firmium to feed them tea with erbium. Oh, the elements, their names just don't make any sense. Many bear the classic names from old mythology: uranium, neptunium, a dash of mercury. Thorium, plutonium, the gods stand side by side, but what has chem to do with them? I still am mystified. If you are cut, use iodine. If nauseous, magnesium. And nickel says the coppers wouldn't hesitate to cesium. Oh, the elements, their names just don't make any sense. Germanium's a potted plant, and indium is ink, and hafnium plus holmium is 1.5, I think. Krypton must be found in crypts, and sodium inside rhodium at rodeos, and cobalt on the cob. Find radical berkelium in sunny Californium. Look for fluorine on the floor, perhaps of the palladium. Oh, the elements, their names just don't make any sense. You use a lot of arsenic if arson is your calling. Francium and gallium are frankly pretty galling. But he who labeled 101 had logic in his heart, and he named it after Mendeleev, the guy who made the chart. Einsteinium commemorates a physicist exquisite. Follow Dorothy to osmium and try to find the wizard. Oh, the elements, their names just don't make any sense. As if the names weren't bad enough, abbreviate them please. Search carefully among the lead to find its P's and B's. You'll agonize for silver, there's a fee for iron now. You'll search the chart in vain for gold, for I won't tell you how. Well, nowhere in potassium resides a single K, and as for N's in sodium, well, I must tell you nay. Oh, the elements, their names just don't make any sense. Well, there they stand in tidy rows from astatine to zinc. The liquid ones are colored blue, the gassy ones are pink. The properties and numbers vary periodically, but the elemental names are still chemistry to me. Oh, the elements, their names just don't make any sense. The elements, their names just don't make any sense. If you weigh a ton or more, no need to feel upset. Just because you can't do waltzes or a minuet. Oh, grab a partner, get in line, no matter if you're fat. You've come a long way, baby, grab a portal's where it's at. Step your feet, slap your tail, 7 on the Richter scale. Everybody lumber to the grab a portal polka. Behold the hippopotamus just wallowing along, and see the tiny brontothere cavorting to my song. The mammoth shakes his pillared limbs, man, what a heavy beat. He can do a 2-step even though he's got 4 feet. Step your feet, slap your tail, 7 on the Richter scale. Everybody lumber to the grab a portal polka. Oh, adversary, you are divine. I wish we were alone. We'd be dancing very slowly, cheek to ankle bone. Here comes the dancing brontosaur, watch out there down below. He's loads of fun, except if he should polka on your toe. Step your feet, slap your tail, 7 on the Richter scale. Everybody lumber to the grab a portal polka. Hey, giant tortoise, come on in and polka for a spell. Don't be so shy and quiet, you can come out of your shell. Link arms with a U into there and do it o-si-do. It may take you a year, but we don't care if you are slow. Stamp your feet, slap your tail, 7 on the Richter scale. Everybody lumber to the grab a portal polka. Well, adipose is beautiful and size is all that counts. If you don't know what I mean, just watch that Brontops bounce. Can you feel the good vibrations coursing through the ground? Every time Tyrannosaurus puts that big foot down. Stamp your feet, slap your tail, 7 on the Richter scale. Everybody lumber to the grab a portal polka. Hey! Men of science finally found the great solution to life. They all agree it's evolution. But these noblemen are still a bit downhearted, 'cause no one knows just how the whole thing started. La, 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 la. Was it instant? Was it fast? Did it happen with a crash? Was it super and stupendous and magnificently brash? Was there uproar, noise and din? Did the earth cave in? How did evolution all begin? Was it done with purpose and intent? Or was it just a lucky accident? Was it day or was it night? Was it blessing, bane or blight? Did it happen 15,000 times before they got it right? Was it normal or surreal? Was it no big deal? How did evolution all begin? Did self-catalyzers win the day? Or did God just sit there knitting DNA? Was it gorgeous? Was it grim? Was it full of vip and vim? Were there choruses of angels and a host of cherubim? Was there fire, flood, or quake? Did the mountain shake? How did this evolution all begin? Was there struggle, war, unrest, and strife? Or did God just go kapoof when there was life? La 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 la. Was it done with style or grace? Was it wholly out of place? Did it hitchhike on a tektite and come hurtling from space? Did it simply have to be in that ancient sea? How did evolution all begin? Did predestined molecules collide? And did life just come along for the ride? Or was it scummy? Was it soup? Did it happen in a group? Was it stringy, slimy, mangy, or entangled in a loop? Was it tiny, wee, or small? Was it there at all? How did evolution all begin? Did coacervates link up and spread? Or did God just think it up out of his head? Was it sudden? Was it bright? Subtle, bold, or recondite? Was it like a million campfires to the watches of the night? Was there confusion and ado? Did the sky fall through? How did evolution all begin? Was there rejoicing in heaven on high? Did Mother Nature break down and cry? Oh, was it stunning? Was it great? Was it done in triplicate? Or was it like Grand Central Station when the trains are running late? Was it tremendous and immense or coincidence? Oh, how did evolution, good old evolution, tell me, how did evolution all begin?
Backbone, 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 backbone.
backbone, 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 backbone,
See that fish and the little bird, to call them alike would be absurd, but there's a likeness deep within, makes them nearly kissing kin. They've got a
backbone, 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 backbone.
Say the twain will never meet, twixt things that croak and things that tweet, but lo and behold, the twain do twine. Both of these critters have a spine. They've got a
backbone, 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 backbone.
Skinks got scales and minks got hair, crows got feathers, frogs are bare, but neath the skin where none can see, they've all got tons of vertebrae. They got a
backbone, 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 backbone.
Tell me if you can, a snake is like an orangutan. Well, they're practically brothers, cause I've found a snake is just a big worm wrapped around a skinny
backbone, 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 backbone.
Bats and cats and bats and moles, they swim, stalk, fly, or live in holes, but who cares if they flap or stride, cause everyone deep down inside has got a
backbone, 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 backbone.
Of kinship there's no evidence in hummingbirds and elephants, unless of course you realize that vertebrates of any size must have a
backbone, 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 backbone.
Listen to what I'm telling you about what you're related to. Amphibia, reptilia, Pisces, and mammalia. Though you haven't any feathers, scales, web, feet, or a tail, you got a
backbone, 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 backbone.
Isn't it neat? You're among the elite who have a backbone. Yeah. First I must mention lack of attention. Here I am wasting away. It's awful. Why did you get me if you won't pet me 17 hours a day? I ask you, what is this crap? When I sit on your lap, I expect a devoted masseuse. I've got the nobody loves me, nobody feeds me, overflowing cat box blues. I have grown gaunt from privation and want, but cat food I don't deign to take. How gauche, yet I might connive to completely revive. When you've given me half of your steak done rare, I'll sit here and beg with my claws in your leg until you concede what I'm due. I've got the nobody loves me, nobody feeds me, overflowing cat box blues. This lousy door service, I'm always on the wrong side. You know, this prancing and prowling, mumbling and growling works, but it hurts a cat's pride. So I'll just claw and I'll spray till the door rots away and it leaves me a hole to pass through. I've got the nobody loves me, nobody feeds me, overflowing catbox blues. Whenever I go for the bed or the sofa, you always shoo me away. How rude. You say I leave hairs on the fabric of chairs that offend your pristine derriere. Well now, if I can't repose where I want, I suppose I'll throw up where you most like to snooze. I've got the nobody loves me, nobody feeds me, overflowing catbox blues. Gotta go, that you owe her a spotless commode. Let's hear it. Why should I squat at the same soggy spot right on top of 3 weeks worth of loads? Now really, if I were a grouch, I would piss on the couch, but instead I have pissed in your shoes. I've got the nobody loves me, nobody feeds me, overflowing catbox blues. Since you have spayed me and nobody's laid me, I'm all neurotic and tense. It's true now, meeting and mewing, that's what I'm doing. Not wooing toms on the fence. Don't think that I've become bitter, 'cause I can't litter. No, but I've lost a few screws. I've got the nobody loves me, nobody feeds me, overflowing catbox blues. I got the nobody loves me, nobody feeds me, overflowing, overflowing, overflowing catbox blues. Oh, he's a middle manager without a claim to fame, except a high partition and a sign that bears his name. And he blusters to intimidate the members of his staff, who wait until he leaves the room before they dare to laugh. He makes no great decisions and his insights are but rare, but he calls a million meetings and he's almost always there to record in finest detail what we do not need to know. Then he turns it into memos that descend on us like snow. Writing memos, memos, memos to directors and to stenos, little squares of colored paper by the reams, 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 writing any piece of rot that impinges on his thought, even though it isn't worth a hill of beans. Oh, he's a middle manager, he is without a doubt. You know him by the quantity of paper he puts out. He is slow to catch a meaning, and he won't pick up the slack. And if you're a fellow manager, he'll stab you in the back. But behind the mounds of clutter that he keeps for their effect, he belabors second fiddle so the bosses won't suspect that he's far outrun his talent, so must overcompensate, lest they find him out and send him back to monitoring crates. Writing memos, memos, memos to directors and to stenos, little clumps of colored paper, how they swell, swell, swell. Though a manager efficient finds the spoken word sufficient, no one sees you have been working when you tell, tell, tell. Yes, he's a middle manager with collar snowy white, and all he does is pass the buck, procrastinate, and write. There is no idea so trivial it fails to self-inflate when typed on a selectric or produced in triplicate. He has no real importance, so he has to make it plain that he has a busy writing hand, if not a busy brain, by immortalizing every word that leaks from pen to pad, and saving for posterity the thoughts he hasn't had. Writing memos, memos, memos to directors and to stenos, little squares of colored paper by the piles, piles, piles. But the file clerk isn't smiling as she goes about compiling pretty folders of confetti for the files, files, files. little manager, and though he sort of tries, he's the prototype for whom the Peter principle applies. He will get no more promotions and should not have got this far, so he's always busy writing with his office door ajar. He has a silver fountain pen that's monogrammed in gold, and custom memo pads that are impressive to behold. But his output, though voluminous, is boring and absurd, and all that we can figure is they pay him by the word. Writing memos, memos, memos to directors and to stenos, managerial excreta that we dread, dread, dread. But we know how to feel better. We'll turn on the paper shredder, and we'll watch the prettier rainbows as they shred, shred, shred. Writing memos, memos, memos to directors and to stenos, managerial excreta that we dread, dread, dread. But we know how to feel better. We'll turn on the paper shredder, and we'll watch the prettier rainbows as they shred, shred, shred. Young, I longed to have a potent intellect, to make my mark in science and be treated with respect. I pondered, learned treatises, performed experiments, and honed the razor edges of my vast intelligence. My vast intelligence. I studied with the finest, and I earned advanced degrees. And when I left the hallowed halls, my mentor's words were these: may the evidence be with you, may the facts be on your side, don't let your love of theory take your reason for a ride. But theories are seductive, they'll rob your senses blind, leave you wandering in circles in the darkness of your mind. I started my career as a prodigy of prose. My colleagues waited breathlessly for every word I wrote. The students flocked to study, but they worshipped me instead, as they marveled at the cogitative power of my head. The power of my head. I had at least a dozen grants and plush facilities and honorary titles in the best society. For the evidence was with me, and the facts were on my side, and no attractive theories took my reason for a ride. I knew theories could seduce you and could lead you off the track. If you abandon the empirical, she's bound to pay you back. But then one day a mocking voice spoke softly from within. How limiting are facts in scientific discipline. Your mind could leap tall buildings with extrapolative glee, could wax eschatological most metaphysically, most metaphysically. Why document your theories? It's clear they come from you. They're true because you passionately want them to be true. So let speculation guide you, let abstraction point the way, let guesses and conjectures and surmises win the day. Let facts fall by the wayside and embrace the inexact. Abandon the empirical, she'll only hold you back. When I cast aside experiments in favor of degrees, propounded pompous paradigms with flip pedantic ease, I shamelessly distorted every fact that didn't fit, and evidence against me, why I never mentioned it. I never mentioned it. I mouthed my polysyllables and told my lofty lies, condescended to my colleagues, and they groveling for grants and groveling for grants. They call me crank and airhead, and they say it is a shame how the love of my own brilliance brought dishonor to my name. 3 pounds of jelly neuron, narcissistically inclined, climbed into bed with theory, paying evidence you're behind. Divorced itself from science and repudiated fact. I abandoned the empirical, now she won't take me back.
May the evidence be with you. May the facts be on your side. Don't let your love of theory take your reason for a ride. But theory can seduce you. It can lead you off the track. Don't abandon the empirical, 'cause she's bound to pay you back.
Today in lab you're gonna learn the muscles of the kitty cat. There's literally dozens, and it really is a pity that you only have an hour to learn every single muscle mass. Get out your probes and scalpels, 'cause you're gonna have to hustle class. Incise the skin and peel off all the tissue subcutaneous. Remove the fat and fascia and gristle miscellaneous. Then notice all the muscles as they lie in close proximity. Then draw them all and label them, leave none in anonymity.
We'll draw them all and label them, leave none in anonymity. We'll draw them all and label them, leave none in anonymity. We'll draw them all and label them, leave none in anonymity.
Determine for each muscle if it's simple or panational. Sketch in the veins and arteries and systems innervational. Be sure to spell them properly, and also incidentally note where they fasten onto bones, but only do it mentally. Now, since I am humane and just a little bit compassionate, I'm going to help you learn them in my own peculiar fashion. It is greatly to be wished that you issue daydreams ethereal, and focus your attention on the following material.
We'll focus our attention on the following material. We'll focus our attention on the following material. We'll focus our attention on the following material.
There's the semimembranosus and the tensor fascia lata, pecto antebrachialis and the multifida spiny, then the iliocostalis, panodeltoid and the splenius, transversus and the rectus, and of course the kinds of gluteus. Find the epitrochlearis and external intercostals, hyoglossus brachialis and the xiphi humoralis, then the vastus lateralis and the caudofemoralis, tenuissimus pectineus and major pectoralis. There's a masseter scalenus, styloglossus and obliquus, and a triceps and a biceps and a vastus intermedius, and the lumbodorsal fascia, sartorius and gracilis, the tensors and the flexors, popliteus and latissimus. Anconius, aretus, ligamentus, intertwinings, the acromio, trapezius, platysma temporalis, deltoid, cricothyroid, styloglossus, scapular levator, and I know there's many others, but you'll have to find them later.
We have listened very closely and have got your little ditty pat, and can now dissect the muscles in the body of the kitty cat. We scientists are thorough. We will ferret, probe, and burrow into anything we do not comprehend. We are clever and resourceful. If we have to, we get forceful. There's no limit to the money that we'll spend. 24 miles by 1 short mile and 100 fathoms deep. Jagged rock at the bottom of the lock, and the water's thick with heat. The monster's shy and shuns the sky, and that's why we must confess. We can't find, we can't find, we can't find, we can't find, we can't find the creature in Loch Ness. We located the Titanic 2 miles deep in the Atlantic, and we didn't know quite where the ship went down. Well, we photographed the wreck, even down below her decks, but those monsters in the lakes just can't be found. 24 miles by 1 short mile and 100 fathoms deep. Jagged rock at the bottom of the loch and the water's thick with heat. We sit real still in the damp and the chill and we watch without success. But we can't find, we can't find, we can't find, we can't find, we can't find the creature in Loch Ness. We have sent a craft to Mars, we have looked beyond the stars, and a million light years don't stand in our way. We've sent rockets out to Saturn and described its weather pattern, but we still can't find that beast in Lachlan Bay. 24 miles by 1 short mile and 100 fathoms deep. Jagged rock at the bottom of the loch and the water's thick with heat. We scan the deeps with sonar beams, but our soundings will attest. We can't find, we can't find, we can't find, we can't find, we can't find the creature in Loch Ness. We have studied the Earth's core, we have mapped the ocean floor, we can plant precise electrodes in your brain. We can't find a single virus, splitting atoms doesn't tire us, but we still can't find that beast in Lake Champlain. 24 miles by 1 short mile and 100 fathoms deep. Jagged rock at the bottom of the loch and the water's thick with heat. We set out bait and our cameras wait, but to our immense distress, we can't find, we can't find, we can't find, we can't find, we can't find the creature in Loch Ness. We have set out traps to catch her and sent dolphins down to fetch her, and a million tourists watch from shore and ship. But we still are left embarrassed, for this creature can't be harassed. She just glides away and gives us all the slip. 24 miles by 1 short mile and 100 fathoms deep. Jagged rock at the bottom of the loch and the water's thick with heat. Ambitious dreams of our research teams are touted by the press, but we can't find, we can't find, we can't find, we can't find, we can't find the creature in Loch Ness. It's a matter now of pride, we are after Nessie's hide, and she can't escape technology for long. Just as soon as we detect her, we will study and dissect her, but till then we watch and wait and sing our song. 24 miles by 1 short mile and 100 fathoms deep. Jagged rock at the bottom of the loch and the water's thick with heat. The monster smiles at our clumsy wiles and we rail at her finesse. We can't find, we can't find, we can't find, we can't find, we can't find the creature in Loch Ness. We can't find, we can't find, we can't find, we can't find, we can't find the creature in Loch Ness. Once a gentle dinosaur, I'm tired and I'm bored. My kin have conquered land and sea, but few of them have soared. And should I not aspire to heights above me, is the air move over bugs and pterosaurs, for I shall soon be there. Set me free, I wanna be a bird. The great primeval urge to fly within my breast is stirred. Oh, set me free, I want what flying brings. Change these scales to feathers and these forearms into wings. Willie flapped his tail and flailed his arms and wiggled a toe or two, but just fainted from exhaustion, saying, "This will never do." He gave a good long running start, it surely couldn't hurt, then gave a leap but crashed to earth, his muzzle in the dirt. There must be some neat trick, he thought, to launch me into flight. So in his mind he leaped from cliffs, but no, that wasn't right. In resignation he retired into a tree nearby. It's just no use, I'm not the type, I'm never going to fly. But set me free, I wanna be a bird. The great primeval urge to fly within my breast is stirred. Oh, set me free, I want what flying brings. Change these scales to feathers and these forearms into wings. Well, Soon a rival dinosaur passed closely underneath. Our friend, a territorial beast, sat up and bared his teeth. He spread his arms out to the sides, his colors to display. And as he did, the wind came up and carried him away. So proud was he of his success, he soared back to the tree to pass his newfound prowess on to all his progeny. Then late in the Jurassic, his offspring won their wings and grew bird feet and remiges and other birdie things. So now birds populate the air, their bodies cloud the sky, since that one aspiring reptile went and taught himself to fly. There's grebes and ducks and passerines and pigeons by the score, who owe their great success to that precocious dinosaur still singing. Set me free, I wanna be a bird. The great primeval urge to fly within my breast is stirred. Oh, set me free, I want what flying brings. Change these scales to feathers and these forearms into wings. Great big bother, always persecuting one another, and they like to do unto you things that brothers shouldn't do to brother. Humankind has gone to pot along to find a nice secluded spot where I can be alone with my own apes who'll take me to their heart. Oh, all that is hirsute is not always a brute, and if you see a colored bottom, don't be alarmed, all mandrills got 'em. Gorillas, langurs, chimpanzees, proboscis, monkeys, gibbons, mangabees, saboteers, baboons too. It's me for them and them for me. There's nothing that will keep you trim like swinging through the trees from limb to limb. Monkey see, monkey do, monkeys, I am one of you. Their brow ridges are low, their smartness just so-so, but oh, that tender, touching cry, I. There never was a better crew than in the monkey house down at the zoo. Big and sweet, clumsy feet, hairy chest on which to beat. I'm tired of hypocrisy, I want to cut loose and be really free. Monkey see, monkey do, monkeys, I am one of you. People always fight, not knowing wrong from right. Now war is hard and war is bloody, but apes are always buddy-buddy. Take me to the jungle where I can forget I am a North American to find my peace with the beasts, and all my trials and cares will cease. So kindly don't go into shock if you should see me start to knuckle walk along to overcome tedium. Look out, monkeys, here I come. Monkey see, monkey do, monkeys, I am one of you.